neck and around your wrist.
Do you know how much a billion is?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because you've asked me the question, I've answered it, but I'm not sure if you know.
It's 9 noughts.
Didn't speak to me for a year. You walked past me, you blanked me.
I didn't see
and I was like, it's only an opinion.
And then you proved me wrong. I didn't see you. I've not forced me what would have happened. Did it beat me up? That's what would have happened. Hello and welcome to Talk Boxing with me, Carl the Cobra Froch. I'm joined by Spencer Oliver. I've actually took Spencer Oliver's little role now because
you've actually took my job.
You know what? You did such a good job. I felt left out.
Well, I wanted to see how you're going to present it. So, and I know you can do well. I've seen your YouTube channel. I've seen the channel.
Which one? Froch on Fighting?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Is that the best YouTube channel you've ever seen?
It's not a bad one, but it's not quite Talk Boxing. But anyway,
while we're talking about YouTube channels, don't forget to like and subscribe to this one, Talk Boxing. It's very important. Like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy yourself. Right, so this week we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do our top 3 favourite fighters since the year 2000. Now, that's not what your opinion is on who the best fighters are. Your favourite fighters.
No, I misread it, mate. I've done the top 3 fighters since 2000.
Just out of interest, who was your top 3 fighters?
Well, I'm going to start off. Let me start off with number 3.
Yeah.
Should we start off with number 3, then you give me your number 3, then we'll go 2, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'll start off with number 3. Number 3, in my top 3 would be Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis would come in at number 3. I mean, he reversed the 2 losses he had to Hussein Rackman and firstly against Oliver McCall. And he, if you look through his resume of who he boxed, how he done it. You go back to 1993 when he beat Tony Tucker for the WBC world title, and then you look at his resume of who he went through there. He beat Frank Bruno, didn't he, at Cardiff? He had what other great wins did he have on his record? Andrew Gallotta, what a win that was against Andrew Gallotta. He blew him away in a round. That was actually, I was on the undercard of that. I was topping the bill over in England. He was topping the bill there. So when boxing was really big, Yeah. But I mean, Razor Ruddock, what a performance that was, and all smashed him to pieces there as well at Wembley. Not Wembley, it was at the London Arena, wasn't it? It was the London Arena, it was called then. So for me, Lennox Lewis comes in at number 3. What about you?
2 comeback fights, Oliver McCall.
Well, that's what I mean, reverse them both, that's what I say.
And the Ruiz one as well. Sorry, Hassim Rahman. That was in South Africa, wasn't it? That's why he was like not weight trained, but he was exhausted.
No, do you know what it was?
He was filming as well, doing a bit of filming.
That's what it was. He took his eye off the ball.
So he wasn't training properly, living the life.
Yeah, he was in
forgot what
Casino
he was doing.
Royale.
Yeah, that's
I think it was.
Yeah. Forgot what he was doing, but he did get blasted with a shot on the chin whilst he was at altitude. Yeah, but come back from that. But that's my number 3, Lennox Lewis.
Oh, you're going to say?
He's the same, yeah.
For the same reasons as me as well?
Just a great career. I mean, what did you think of his last fight with Klitschko? His final, what's that?
Well, I thought that, do you know what?
He cut Klitschko to ribbons, didn't he? Vitali. Not Vladimir,
Vitali.
And he ripped his eyes to bits. He had to have about 70-odd stitches after that.
But do you know what? Do you know what I thought was great, though, of Lennox and what he recognised? And I'll tell you where he falls into a bracket of, and you come into this as well, by the way. Lennox Lewis, Marvin Hagler, yourself, right, recognised that when maybe you feel like, right, this is maybe I've reached the peak, I've reached my best, and I'm only going to go decline from here, decided that was it. And I think for Lennox, that was the fight that made him realise, listen, there's a new breed coming through. Like, he's beating me, won in 6 rounds, didn't he? He ripped Klitschko to bits.
That was his one too many fight.
It was a tough fight.
I never had that. It was a tough fight. But that was the fight where he got the realisation.
The realisation.
It's time for me to retire. Where my career, I never had that fight where you get banjoed like David Hay did against Bellew.
No. What I'm saying is Lennox, he was victorious in that, but I think that was the realisation that
was probably one too many.
This is time for me to pass the baton.
One too many.
Yeah.
My one too many fight was actually the fight before my last one against George Groves in the first one.
Yeah.
Because I was doing a dance show with my partner Rachel. I wasn't fully switched on mentally, and I just thought I was going to go in there and blast him out. Actually, I had the wrong attitude on the build up to it.
And
then training camp on the rematch. Yeah, go on.
Do you remember the rematch when you had the rematch night after the first fight, and then like you went over, didn't you? You got up like a baby giraffe trying to walk, getting back to the corner, then you come out the same thing, but you done this amazing turnaround and done what the Cobra does. And then when the rematch was made, I'm like, I think George Groves win this one. Yeah. You didn't speak to me for a year.
Nah, I didn't speak too much anyway. You
didn't speak to me for a year. You walked past me, you blanked me.
Nah, I didn't see
you. And I was like, it's only an opinion. And then you proved me wrong.
I didn't see you. I've not fallen out of anybody who had anything bad to say about me.
I didn't. It wasn't bad. I just felt that first fight was when I recognised that the wheels were starting to come off.
Jim Watt used to write me off in commentary. I never said anything. Yeah. When my brother had a go at him,
did you think that's when the wheels were coming off though? In that first fight, that you felt that's when?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was one too.
Yeah,
It was,
I felt that.
I'd lost the desire. The desire was going, and the training camps weren't going as well. And in the rematch, I made sure I spent 12 weeks up in Sheffield because I had to win the rematch.
Yeah.
But during that camp, I realised this is the last time I'm going to be able to do this. I can't do this anymore. You still, how many times you sit in an ice bath,
Yeah.
how much physio you have, how many cortisone injections you have in your elbows and your hands. You get to the point where you think, I'm about here now, I'm done. So that was my last fight. I could have had another 1 or 2, but it would have been a Golovkin. Or it would have been somebody who could have really hurt me bad and destroyed my legacy and maybe my life. And you know, you've got to make a decision and say, you know what, I've had a great career. I've had the Wembley Stadium 80,000 finish, crest of the wave at the end of my career. Anything more now is just greed and stupidity. And I'm not greedy or stupid. I retired. And I think that fight with Lennox Lewis, which is why we're talking about this, was one fight too many. And that was a reality check for him. And he thought, let's cut my losses now. Or cut the winnings, cash out with the winnings while I'm on time. He finished on the, but he had a great career.
He had an amazing career. Like, so, look, remember that fight he had with what's his name? Ray Mercer.
Oh, Ray Mercer, yeah.
Oh, what a fight. What a war. Like, anyone that hasn't seen that, go back. Lennox Lewis versus Ray Mercer, and you see Lewis won it on a split decision.
Rob McCracken talks about that fight.
Oh, that was insane, man. Like, for a heavyweight dust-up, that was something else, man. That was. So
you start with your 3, and that's the same 3 as mine, so that's why I've had a bit of an extra chat about it. Number 2 for me, my personal favourite fighter would be Prince Nassim Salam Ali Hamid.
Yeah.
His full name, so I'm such a big fan. This guy got me back into boxing.
Right.
I boxed from the age of 8 to the age of 15. Never really did anything as a schoolboy. Got to a couple of national semi-finals or finals, but I never really took it. I was always in against someone bigger than me as well.
Yeah, I won them. I always won them.
Yeah, I never did. You know what? I can remember turning up to a quarter or semi-final.
Did you win the ABAs?
In Wales. I won the ABAs twice.
I won them.
As a senior.
Yeah,
no, I'm saying as a junior. As a junior.
What, in ABCs, did you win them?
No.
I did, yeah.
But I can remember
and the junior ABAs, I won them twice.
No, I didn't win them.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Got a couple of world title belts now. This is now where...
Oh, no, I'm talking amateurs.
This is where now I should have the Hall of Fame ring just under my chin like that.
I can't believe you never brought it. By the way, guys...
If there's ever a time when I should be wearing that ring...
Cobra has been inducted into the Hall of Fame and he has not bought his ring. That's a disgrace.
Why are you telling them? They already know.
Fame ring? Oh,
What do you think of you right now? Nice.
Got the Froch in.
Look at that.
No, you don't. This is the next week's. It's a
matter.
different show.
No, don't matter.
We're just in the
different
same
show.
club.
Don't matter. Say these people know that I'm a Hall of Famer.
Oh no,
You've got to keep up, mate.
No,
you don't need
mate,
to tell
no,
them.
mate.
Trust me, I've let them know.
Come on, who's in the
So
number
for
2?
me,
Yeah, go on,
for number 2 was Prince Nassim Hamid. He got me back into boxing. I boxed from a kid. That you just wrote my career off as a kid up until the age of 15, and I got back into it at 19 for one reason, and it was watching Prince Nassim Hamid's fight.
What was his standout
It
performance?
was just so exciting. When he
Boom,
boxed
Boom
Tom Johnson was
oh.
amazing, but the fight against Kevin Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the fight against Steve Robinson in Cardiff, where he just played.
1995.
It was almost in bad taste, but that was his style. But he just took the piss, didn't it? Like just arms down.
Yeah, but
big
you learned to
shots.
love it, didn't you? Used to spar with Naz. We were in the same GB team going up, but when we all turned senior, Naz turned pro at 17, didn't he? So he didn't have that senior. I don't think he entered the ABA.
Such an awkward, unorthodox, elusive style with a punch, excitement, just brilliant. Every time he used to fight, and I remember when he walked to the ring in New York, Madison Square Garden, and he was up against Kevin Kelly, and this was getting on towards like the later part of his career because he eventually lost to Marco Antonio Barrera and kind of destroyed his legacy a little bit when he lost to Barrera because people who had not seen much of Naz that watch that one and they'll go coming in the ring with a somersault. You know, actually didn't somersault into the ring that night, and that was a bad omen for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I thought he's not done his front flip. And that's because someone chucked beer on him on the ring walk. I was actually looking at the geezer that chucked beer on him. I was thinking, I'm going to go down there and fill him in because that's put him off. His gloves were covered in beer, so when he grabbed the top rope, it was slipping. So he ended up just climbing through the ropes, and I was like, "Oh no, he didn't do the flip." I was like such a big fan.
It's mad though,
He's
isn't
got
it?
to do the flip. But that was the Barrera fight that he lost. He come back and had one fight.
Carbo, Manuel Carbo, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was for
the
European
French,
title.
European.
Yeah, he won
not
much.
French,
Was
Spanish
it?
kid, I think.
Body shot or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Kevin
he
Kelly
won on points,
fight.
actually. He laboured to a points victory in that.
Did he?
But I think that, again, I think that's when he recognised that after the Barrera fight that, you know, his best days. I spoke to him about that, actually, and like he said about making the weight of the Barrera fight, that actually 2 days, 3 days before the fight, he was about 2 stone overweight. He said he hadn't trained properly, hadn't been putting the running in, and he knew that the fight had left him. And he said, like, going into that, I just thought that I was going to get through it on natural talent.
Yeah.
But he said, the actual training and everything else, he said he felt like the best days, and that's why everyone judges Naseem Hamed for that performance against Barrera,
which is wrong.
That was his last fight. I know you're remembered for your last fight, like it wasn't. It was Carver one.
He boxed after that,
yeah, he boxed after that. What I'm saying is, he's remembered for that. You go back to when he beat Vazquez, when he beat Steve Robinson, when he beat Boom Boom Johnson. You know, look at those performances. When he beat Bungo,
climbing off the floor against Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, and Kevin Kelly, and
Bungo was tough. Was he African? Just solid, wasn't he?
Yeah, Bungo,
Well,
he was
South
long reigning.
American. He was
South African, long reigning super bantamweight champion. Moved
solid,
up. Unbelievable.
Solid, tough guy. But no, Naz for excitement, for bringing a different element to the game. The razzmatazz, the ring entrances, and that ring entrance and that fight with Kevin Kelly where he got dropped in round 1, and then fought his way back and got the stoppage around the mid round. My hairs on the back of my neck was standing up. On that ring entrance, and when he got dropped, I was so nervous for him and so scared. I was like, because it was in England watching that one on television, and it was like 2-3 in the morning because it was New York, and me and my older brother Lee were just like as if it was our brother in the ring, someone that we loved so much, wanted him to win so bad.
He captured the imagination, didn't he?
Just amazing, and you don't get that much now in boxing. I don't know if it's because the fights aren't happening, or if there's no big names coming. I just feel like there's no. Like that era, Lennox Lewis, and even you go back to Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank, the characters. Frank Bruno, I know he struggled at the top, but he had the character that you could get behind and love. Well, we're struggling now.
Mine was Manny Pacquiao. I mean, this fighter went over 4 decades. He spanned over 4 decades.
Absolutely.
Won world titles at 8 different weights.
Machine.
Lineal world champion at 5 different weights. Going from flyweight up through to middleweight, and you just see how this guy turned pro at like 16 years of age. He won his first world title at flyweight. He won his first world title at flyweight, and he was 19 years of age. And you'd think the way he went on and had that career, the performances he had against Marquez, that was standout performance he did with Ricky Hatton. All right, Ricky Hatton's best days were probably behind him, but the mannerisms in that he dealt with a lot of fighters. I mean, the way that he beat Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, no one expects that. I didn't think that. I know De La Hoya was coming down in weight. And he was coming up in weight, but you just thought, no, this is like, you know what I mean, a good big one's always going to beat a good little one. But the way he dealt with De La Hoya was just like incredible. That's when you recognise, look, this is an all-time great and legend. So for me, like the 2000s, I think the standout for me would be Pac-Man. I mean, what was your thoughts on him?
Manny Pacquiao was just an outstanding fighter. And he boxed on, for in my opinion, too long. But still performed, even though he was well past his best. He still had that. He still had that work rate, the fitness, that boxing ability to hit and not get hit.
He won a world title against Keith Thurman when he was 40 years of age.
40 years
old. Welterweight,
exactly. Yeah. So
oldest welterweight
it's gone
champion
on
ever.
there, and you're thinking. I mean, the fight with Floyd Mayweather was a shame that it happened that late, because what would have happened early on if Mayweather Pacquiao would have happened 7 years earlier?
Who won?
Who wins? I know.
Yeah, I know.
You just think Mayweather gets beat, don't you?
Well,
it's like, how could you beat a prime, in his peak, Pacquiao for work rate and toughness and punching ability as well?
Yeah, I know. Well, that leads me on to my number 1.
He flattened Hatton bad, didn't he?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was a bad knockout, that was.
I mean, but that showed you the level that he was at.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, you know what I mean? Them Juan Manuel Marquez, them fights that he had with him, he had 4 fights with him, I think, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, just like incredible fights. And when he got knocked out, I think in the last fight, he got knocked out cold, didn't he? Flat out on his face.
Yeah.
He was going for it, you know what I mean? Rolled the dice, got caught. And you just think, right, that's it, career over. How's he come back, rebuilt, won a world title again? Do you know what I mean? It's like, another level, just standout fighter for me. Standout.
Can't argue with that one. And that was your number 2.
That's my number 2,
My number 2 was Prince Naseem Hamed.
Yeah. So that is it. The number 1s.
And when you compare fighters like that, like you probably wouldn't put Naz in. And I said Naz was really good. He could have been better. But you wouldn't put Naz in, would you, with Pacquiao?
Because the work rate. The work rate was too much.
And then when you look at that, the comparison,
the work ethic.
To say that Naz wouldn't have a chance with him might not actually be a bad call. Even though it sounds terrible, because Naz was that good and punched that hard.
Yeah.
You just think that you feel like that would be a mismatch. But my number 1 is somebody who was, for me, one of the greatest super middleweights of all time. untouchable, unhittable, and then he finished his career at light heavyweight. He actually went up to heavyweight, and he was just so skillful, so fast. The speed he had and his skill set was that good. You know what I'm going to say?
Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
I just, what other fighter would you say was untouchable, unhittable, too fast for everybody, and a skill set where they can throw 3, 4, 5, 6, or even 7 left hooks, left hook, left hook, left hook, left uppercut, left hook, have a little foot shuffle, have a look, make his opponent miss, then hit him with a right hand. It was just the best at everything.
How
the
good
speed.
was James Toney? And when he
James
beat James
Toney, beat James
when he
Toney.
beat James Toney, but I mean James Toney goes down as like he was
all-time great,
magical. Yeah, he was
all-time
magical.
great, and Roy Jones dealt with him.
Yeah, he nullified everything he'd done, and just put him in his place.
What do you think it was? Do you think it was Roy Jones' speed? Because a lot of fighters had the speed, or do you think it was the skill coupled with the speed?
I think it was it's just his boxing IQ.
Reflexes.
He was years above where he should have been.
Got robbed of an Olympic gold medal as well,
Yeah,
by the
he
way.
did. That
in the
was
Seoul
Seoul Olympics. Yeah, it was disgusting. But yeah, no, I just think he was generations above where he should have been.
Yeah.
You know, in front of where he should have been. Like he was one of those fighters, stand up, like you say, middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, going up to heavyweight, beating John Ruiz.
Yeah.
You know, but in a heavyweight fight, then coming back down. That was the undoing of him, by the way. Going to heavyweight, coming back down to light heavyweight. His body never recovered. He lost the punch resistance.
Yeah.
Antonio Tarver knocked him out, didn't he? And he was never the same fighter again.
Yeah.
I think it was, but I don't think it was a Tarver knockout. I think it was coming from heavyweight, moving back down to light heavyweight. That was the undoing for him. But yeah,
It happens, doesn't it?
You're right.
Did Ruiz end up beating Tyson? Who beat Tyson at heavy? Because Tyson went on too long, didn't he? Got beat. I mean, he lost the weight. He lost to
He lost to Danny Williams,
didn't he?
Yeah,
from
yeah.
England. But who did Tyson lose to? Did he have a fight?
Kevin McBride.
Kevin McBride as well.
Yeah.
Because that's such a shame. 'Cause the way Roy Jones stepped up and beat Ruiz.
Yeah.
Ruiz has beat somebody that's beat Tyson, I think. Tarver, because what I'm getting at is on paper I've beat Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Because of the you like that, yeah. But
Yeah,
you know,
on.
people say on paper I beat
Yeah,
him.
go on.
Because
Where
I
do we
beat
get
Ben
that?
Covey Johnson,
Right.
who knocked out Tarver,
Yeah.
who beat Roy Jones, who beat.
Yeah.
So when you go up along, it just sounds ridiculous, because it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But when you say Roy Jones went up to heavyweight,
How would you have gone on with Roy Jones?
I'd have got absolutely hammered. I'd have got mullered.
Really?
Yeah, I'd
Is
have
that
got
how highly
mullered.
you rate him?
Mate, if I'd have
Shoot
lasted...
the Cobra don't say that about no one.
about anybody. I've just got to be honest.
Yeah.
If I would have managed to go 12 rounds of Roy Jones Jr., can you imagine the state of my face? Because he hits you. I can't say that he wouldn't have hit me, because I get hit with shots. Do you know what I mean? If I'd have got my guard up, he'd have brought the guard down, and he'd be too quick with that jab. And it had just outworked me. The speed, when somebody's that fast, Jermaine Taylor was too fast for me. That's why he put me down in round 3, and that's why he was outboxing me for 5, 6, 7 rounds. He was too fast and too skillful.
Yeah.
But when you work as hard as I do, and you're as bolshy and as brave, and you've got that refusal to quit, and you train hard and work hard like I always did in the gym. I always got through them ropes. A 15-round fighter I was. I could do 15 rounds. I'd have been better off back in the day.
Yeah.
I wish the Ward fight was 15 rounds. He was looking at the clock for the last 2 rounds, looking up at the clock, on his foot running. And I'd started to get to him. Have a look at that fight. 115, 113 on 2 judges' scorecard. That's a 1-round swing. I'm not saying it was that, but it was another 3 rounds. Another 3 rounds, who knows? I started really slow as well. I was a 15-round fighter, but what was on about? Roy Jones.
Yeah, Roy Jones.
Just...
Yeah,
he'd have hammered me.
Just an outstanding.
You asked me what would have happened, he'd have beat me up. That's what would have happened.
Well, my number one, I've got to say Floyd Mayweather. And you just look at the resume of the guy. You know, he won, you know, numerous world titles. What did he win? 15 different world titles that he competed in. 26 world title fights back to back against 15 former or current world champions. That's some resume, that. And you look at the list of fighters that he was in. You know, people like Miguel Cotto, who's a great fighter. The way that he done with that with Cotto. Shea Mosley was a phenomenal fighter.
Yeah.
You know, and he had to bite down
caught
there. He
with
got
that
hurt
one.
badly in that one as well. You know,
Marcus Madonna gave him a nightmare.
Madonna gave him nightmares.
him with loads of shots.
That's a classic, though, isn't it? Like Marcus Madonna, who's not as good as Cotto, is not as is not as good as Mosley, but he give him a tougher fight, or as tougher fight, because that is a classic example of styles make fights. Because A beats B doesn't mean it's gonna. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, and that is a classic example, because Madonna gave him nightmares.
It was aggressive up close, Madonna, and he
I
was throwing
think-
that shot.
I
And
think
that's why I give
Yeah.
Amir Khan loads of credit.
Yeah.
Because that fight with Marcus Madonna Khan was on his Bambi legs for
Oh,
4 or 5
he was
rounds.
looking at the Olympic clock, wasn't he?
And he took the licks and he stayed in there and he finished the rounds and got the win. And I said to Amir Khan when I saw him, I went, I'll tell you what, mate, bloody hell, he showed some heart and he showed something I didn't think you had in that fight against Madonna.
Yeah.
And he gave Mayweather all he wanted, didn't he?
Do you know what? I think the one fight that I saw Floyd Mayweather possibly lose was against Costello.
I thought he did lose.
Castillo,
I'm about to say to you, someone's always got a bogey, man. Someone's always got somebody's number.
Castillo.
And that fight with Jose Luis Castillo,
That's it.
was a fight that if you look at it and watch it with the volume off,
Mayweather lost that fight,
Mayweather lost the fight.
Yeah.
Whichever way you look at it.
Yeah.
Whether you're looking in that corner, if you're watching it on television or you're sitting on that ring apron.
Yeah.
He lost the fight, but he was so dominant in the immediate rematch. And this is what top champions do. They have a tough fight, they struggle, they have an immediate rematch. They don't skirt around the edges. They think, I've got to get back in. When I lost to Andre Ward, I jumped straight in there with Lucian Bute. Nobody thought I could
when
win.
Lennox lost to Salim Rackman, he jumped straight back in.
Yeah, he did. And McCall.
Right.
And McCall.
Yeah,
Oliver
McCall,
I don't think he had one, did he? Did he have one?
Yeah.
Did he have a breather between the McCall rematch? I'm not so sure, but he rematched him anyway and changed it and done the business. And that's what Mayweather... So whether you say Mayweather lost to Castillo, he got the win.
Would Mayweather go down as a great for you?
100%. Yeah. I picked Roy Jones Jr. because he's my favourite fighter of all time that I watched as a kid. I say as a kid, I'm not that much younger than him.
So you actually done what our producer Pat said and said pick your favourite fighters for the three, but I went for the best boxers of that because I didn't read the question properly.
Well, my three that I had...
he always moans that I don't actually read the questions properly. I don't do my homework. There's another one.
No, you never do your homework, do you? You don't need to.
No, the knowledge is there, isn't it?
Yeah, he's like David Brent at the Office World. He just wings it. I'll tell you what, talking about Floyd Mayweather, and we mentioned Ricky Hatton earlier with Manny Pacquiao, didn't we? But Hatton obviously got a bad strelliking from Mayweather as well. Like the left hook as he came forward and his head bounced off the corner post and then he got stopped. So he was sort of off on his feet and off, falling over, and the ref jumped in.
Yeah, do you know what? I felt a little bit sorry for Hatton in that fight, to be fair. What was the referee? Joe Cortez. Yeah, Joe Cortez was never going to do Hatton any favours anyway because Mayweather, we know, as Hatton got close, Mayweather just tied him up, done what he done.
He needed Steve Smoger.
Yeah.
That's who Ward had when he beat me. I needed Cortez.
Yeah, and Cortez
might be that Froch is talking about himself again, but the reason it's a valid point is because a referee can change the dynamics of a fight.
Well, that's what happened there.
Ricky Hatton kept getting dragged off Mayweather.
Not saying Hatton would have won.
No, exactly. But it would have been a more exciting, closer fight, and Hatton would have had a chance. He didn't have a chance with Cortez keep breaking him up.
But the way that Mayweather finished that fight, when he pinged him with a left hook, didn't he? He done like a sidestep, pinged him with a left hook. Hatton was coming.
Hatton was charging forward.
Yeah, charging forward, went onto the shot.
Reckless.
Great finish, but fantastic fighter. But that's another classic example of Mayweather, the adaptability. You know, it's what makes him special. Like you said, Cole, you know, the corner can give you instructions, bullet points, but when you get smacked with a couple of faces in the chops, that all goes out the window, and you've got to sort of like, it's instinctive, and you make those decisions. You know whether you've got to adjust or, you know, go forward, go back, and I think Mayweather was a master at that.
Mayweather could have maybe had anybody in his corner in his peak.
Yeah.
And we try and give cornermen stick, like football managers get sacked when they're having a bad season. You shouldn't be sacking your trainer. But Mayweather is your number one. But what do you make of him and his career and his legacy? Is it tainted at all because of these exhibition fights? He fought Conor McGregor, and now he's even worse than that. I understand the McGregor one because that was a crossover fight, and almost the first one where you go, hang on, has McGregor got a chance? I almost fell for it.
It was exciting.
McGregor might have a chance here. And then when it happened, I was like, why did he even think he had a chance? Stupid idiot. What's wrong with you? Slap yourself silly. But what he's doing now with that one, and then what he's doing now, going on tour, fighting these nobodies.
Well, he boxed Logan Paul, didn't he? And then he boxed KSI's brother, Deji.
They kind of make sense, the Logan Paul one, because it's such a big YouTuber star and whatever. But even though that's bad for his career, I think it's bad for his name. But you can understand, his money Mayweather. It is making money, so you go, oh, you know what?
Do you know what? No, I don't think.
It's fair enough. What about now, though? Fighting nobodies at the O2 from 2,000 people.
Yeah, it's sad. I don't think it taints his legacy because I don't think he'll be remembered for that. But I think for your hardcore boxing fan, you just go, come on, Floyd, you got enough money, and what you're doing now is like, no, I mean, like you say, right, going into that, I don't even know he was fighting the last time, and they had the O2, and I know that there was about 2,000 tickets gone, and guess what? They give about 1,000.
Why do you think he's doing it?
They give him about 1,000
away.
Yeah,
they did. I tried to paper it out. Well, do you think he's doing it because he loves the sport that much, or do you think he's doing it for the money? Because if he is, it means he's spending money more than he's earning, and he's
earned like 1.6 billion.
Hang on. I think you've made a mistake there.
No, I'm not.
1.6 billion.
Yep. No, career earnings.
You might need to check your facts on that.
Go on then.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you know what a billion is?
I know exactly what a
How
billion
much is a billion?
I'm like,
How much is a billion?
I know what
tell
a
me what
billion
is
is. 100 billion, 200 million, 300 million, 400 million, 500 million, 6, 7,
1,000
8,
million.
9. There you go.
1,000 million.
I know what a billion is, mate.
Hang on
I'm
a
just
minute.
telling you the facts.
It says his career earnings in and out of boxing have totaled to $1.1 billion.
There you go.
1.1 billion. That's amazing, isn't it?
There you go.
I know he was on the 600-700 million, but over a billion. So you can spend that money.
Listen, I do my homework,
Listen,
mate.
you can spend
I've got
it.
the stats.
No, you got the stats, and he's on
Yeah.
over $1 billion, but you can spend it. When you're flying private with all your homeboys, and you've got flawless diamond bangles around your neck and
but
around
a
your wrist.
billion. Do you know how much a billion is?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah,
Because
I
you've
know.
asked me the question, I've answered it, but I'm not sure if you
it's
know.
9 noughts. It's 9 noughts, mate. I didn't realise it was into the billion.
Yeah.
Hang on, if we rewind this, did you say 1.4 billion or did you say, I thought you said 100 billion?
No, I said 1.6.
That's why I thought
1.6.
You didn't say 100 billion.
No, you're just trying to dig yourself out of a hole here.
1.6 billion, that's
Yeah.
amazing. 1,600 million, and it can be spent as well.
There you go.
Because Evander Holyfield blew 600 million.
But the answer to your question is that I'm not sure he's damaging his legacy because I just don't think people read too much into it. His legacy's cemented.
His boxing
with
legacy's
50
done,
and 0,
isn't it? Yeah.
50 and 0, 26
Yeah.
world champions, world title defences, 15 different world champions, numerous world titles at different weights. Done.
Does he just love the sport, or is he spending his money? What's he doing it for?
Great question.
Why get into the ring in front of
Some
1,500
fight-
people in England
Yeah.
when you're Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
Why is he doing
But
it?
that might have been the straw that broke the camel's back, as in he may have realised this gravy train
Has he
is
not
over.
done one of them
Because
since
there was interest, wasn't there, when it was McGregor, like you say. There
Yeah.
was Logan Paul. There was
Massive.
interest.
Yeah.
There was huge interest, big pay-per-view numbers. Now,
No, it's
I
like
think
white
it's
collar.
over.
No, it's like
Yeah.
white collar stuff.
Yeah.
Little like small hall shot stuff. The next thing you'll see him at Bethnal Green, where I made my pro debut. You know what I'm saying? Now, if
I
he's
do
doing
know exactly.
1,500 or 2,000 tickets against nobodies,
Yeah.
like it's just mad.
Yeah.
So that's it for episode 35 of this week's Talk Boxing. Get in the comment section and let us know your top 3. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this amazing channel. And also, let me know if you want Spencer Oliver to be replaced by Carl the Cobra. Not really. I ain't got time for this. I enjoy being a guest on
You
your
know
show.
what?
And
It's
you do
been
such
good,
a
mate.
fantastic job.
You've done a good job as well.
Oh, you best believe it.
Yeah, very good.
I know.
I mean,
Thanks.
the boys are great at cutting and editing and doing everything. It
They'll,
looks fantastic.
they'll clean it up. But don't forget as well, what else we got? We've got the Q&A on Sunday morning, so make sure you get on that one as well.